This is a video about my 2000 Toyota Tundra, the Limited. It's got the 4.7 V8 engine in it, and I had some problems with the throttle last week, a couple weeks ago, and I had to go in and replace some things, and I'll tell you a little bit about the process. I took it into the dealer because they had a couple warranty issues with the frame rust and the rear wiring harness. And while I was there, or going there, the throttle started sticking. It would go about 80% with no throttle at all, and then it would click and start driving. So the sensors went off saying that it was this throttle assembly, and so the dealer had quoted me $500 to replace that part. And so I researched online, found the part for $255, but it was going to take a few days. So I called all the dealerships around, and I found one that would give me 15% off. So they sold it to me for $289. So I took that off and replaced that, and that didn't fix the problem. It still set the same codes. The other thing that I tried was right down inside here. You can't see it because it's underneath, but there's a throttle position sensor that I replaced also, and it still threw the same codes. So the dealer said sometimes when those things go, it also throws the throttle body, so you have to replace the whole throttle body. They quoted me about $1,500 to replace this throttle body, and it consists of 4 bolts and a few vacuum hoses. So I went on eBay and I found a guy that's selling the same part, but it's made for a Lexus, but it's the exact same part number, and they're interchangeable. So I ordered that, and it got here in about 3 days, and I had this at the dealer the whole time. So what I ended up doing is you have to disassemble the air intake, which is just one screw there, and then a couple vacuum hoses that connect to it. And you remove that whole section, and then you have to remove all these vacuum hoses. There's one here, one here. There's a main one that goes from here all the way down inside, so you just have to disconnect that there, and a couple just accessory bolts. There's one that's a 10mm and another 10mm bolt right there that had to be removed. And then it's just four 12mm bolts, 2 on top and one down there and one down there. And so it's 4 bolts, and I popped that off. There's a gasket in the middle that I cleaned up really well, and I was able to slide the new one right on, hook up your vacuum hoses, your oil hoses, put back on your 2 parts that hold that little cover, and then hook on this wire right here. It's really easy to the throttle assembly. And after I plugged it all on, put my air intake back on, I turned it on, and it ran perfect. So this is my old throttle body. This is the defective one that I removed. A little bit, this is the throttle position sensor that I first replaced. It was $70 for a new one on eBay. That didn't fix my problem. That one's real easy to remove. It's 2 bolts and one little accessory bolt that holds the wiring in place, and then just unclip of the wiring harness there. This is the throttle accessory motor. It also has a sensor inside of it. This is the one that the dealer had told me was reading an error code. This is very simple to remove. It had 3 bolts on it, and then one little part that hooks on where the electrical plugs into it, and that senses the position of the butterfly there. So a little bit about the troubleshooting that I went through. When I first took it to the dealer, it threw a code of P1128, which is a throttle pedal or position sensor. So as I was talking with the dealer, he made it sound like it might be this throttle position sensor, but then I had him give me part numbers, and it ended up being the throttle lever assembly, which is this guy over here on this side, held on by 3 bolts. So first I ordered online, found on eBay this throttle position sensor. They run anywhere from $70 to $110 depending on where you go. They carry them at all the auto parts stores, O'Reilly, Napa, AutoZone, they all have them. But I found a place on eBay for a good price, free shipping, and so I ordered that. So I went down, replaced that. It just has 2 bolts to it, and then you want to get it all lined up square. And this senses where the throttle body is, where the position of the butterfly is. And it just has one little part that plugs into. When the dealer checked it out, they kind of smashed up the connection right there, and I wasn't impressed. And there was 2 tabs that held on some other cords there, and they broke those tabs and didn't ever replace them. That was kind of annoying. So I called around. I got the throttle lever assembly, which is this guy on this side. I found places online varying in price from about $250, but man, they cost a lot to ship. When they cost a lot as a part, they want to charge almost $100 to ship that little part. And I found one at I think it was toyotaparts.com. They were going to sell it for $255, and then it was like $15 to ship. So I called the local dealers, and one nearby said that he wouldn't match the online price, but he would give me 15% off. And the retail price for this part right here is $340.79, and then it was going to be free shipping, you know, obviously, since I picked it up at the dealer. But I talked him into 15% off, which gave me $51 off. So it was about $290, and then sales tax was $20. So about $310 for this part here. Just held on by 3 bolts, and really easy to replace. Dealer was going to charge me $100 to replace this piece right here. So it would have been almost $500 just for them to go in and replace that. And it has one plug-in port for the electrical, and that's it. 3 bolts. Not any adjustments, aligning, or anything. Just 3 bolts and a plug-in. And it's not even really hard to get to. The throttle cable comes in and hooks in there, so that's really easy to slide out and slide back in. So I did it myself. It was really easy, except for that did not fix the problem. I still had the same engine code. The engine code was P1128, and I asked the dealer if he could reset it, and he had a tech come out later that night, recheck the codes, and it threw a new code. The new code that it threw was P1128, which is the throttle body itself. It's not necessarily the position sensors, the throttle assembly sensors. It's the whole throttle body together. And I'm not sure, it could be just the motor that's acting up, but for some reason it would throw it into limp mode and it would not work. So I was able to buy a whole new throttle body, and it's installed in the truck already. And it comes just like this. It has the new position sensors. It has the new throttle body on it. Has everything. You just have to unbolt the harness there that holds the cover, and then there's another one. Then you have to undo and reattach all the vacuums to it. So after doing a lot of research, the part number for that was 22030500142. The dealer quoted me $1,250 for this part right here, for this new part. That seemed a lot for me, especially then they wanted to charge 1.4 hours of labor to install it, which would have come about $1,400 just to do 4 bolts and then a couple vacuum hoses. So these are where the 4 bolts attach, right here, here. There is one little teeny gasket that goes in the middle that I cleaned up really good and reinstalled. You can see that the throttle body itself has lots of grime and carbon buildup around it. I could have tried to clean that up a whole bunch before, but I got a feeling that the problem's not just the actuator, it's in the motor itself. So I ordered that new part. I found it on eBay. There was a guy selling a new one. It's also the same part that's on the Lexus. Let's see which model it was. a Lexus LX 470 from 98 to 2002. It's also on the Sequoia 0102 and the Land Cruiser 98 to 02. So if they have the same part number, they are the same part, even if they go for different vehicles. If it's going for a Lexus or a Land Cruiser, whatever, if it has the same part number, and I called around a whole bunch of different dealers to make sure if it's the same part number, it's going to work also. So that's what I did. I found it on eBay, a company called Citrus City Lexus, and they were selling a brand new one for $768, and it had free shipping. A lot of those places I could find, like toyotaparts.com, were going to sell it for $960, but they charged $102 to ship it, so there I'm up to $1,064. So I ordered it through Citrus City Lexus for $768. I replaced the 4 bolts. Everything else, it was really easy to do. A couple vacuum hoses that had to be reattached, some oil lines. But so for the diagnostic of $100 at the dealer and the $768 that I spent on the part, I'm into it about $880 instead of almost $2,000 that I would have spent through the dealer. So do your research and have a good time.